Good morning. This is Laurie of Laurie's Heirloom Sewing, and today is basically just going to be get this room cleaned up. I do have a few things that I have found in the process of cleaning that I will show you and we'll go through. I've removed one huge container of items that I still had from the shop in Kansas. I've been painting Christmas cards. This one's not done yet. I have to sign it, and there's a couple of things I want to do before I call it good. I've done like 4 or 5, I think. So the nice thing is I now have a container for these paints. I have other paints that won't fit in here, but this is like the perfect solution to the small tubes with the paint brushes. I'll know where they are. So they're going to go over in that closet with all the other art supplies. But I have to incorporate these items. So this is the type of paint tube that I'm putting in this. And these are the cards and envelopes. They'll just stay in this. I'm not going to put them in with the paint. This is a little tablet that I found. I started this, I don't even know how many years ago. My goodness. God. Oh, I saved it to go through this with you guys. These are colored pencils. It is very windy today. The power went out. The dogs are upset. This was 12/20 of 2018. Watching Ghosts of Highway 20 on YouTube. Really? Oh, okay. Just, I don't know. I think I was trying to do some sort of an abstract something that apparently was supposed to be a branch, and I see the outline of some sort of bird that I didn't finish. And I think I thought, is that a recipe? Okay, this is my bread recipe. Yeah, okay. Oh, I remember when I wrote this down. Wow, here's Bishop's bread recipe. Okay, I'll leave it in there. Bishop's bread. And then this is to keep, you know, your little drawings in. And it came this way. I did this, but this little envelope here on the back was part of the notebook. But I do want to kind of clean this up. That's ugly. So I'm just going to trim it out with my paper scissors. So the amazing thing is, I don't think I filmed it, but I have finished the red work table runner and I love it. I put it on the marble top of my kitchen hutch. Oh, and this has this little elastic that holds everything together and a little page marker, and I don't remember what year it was. I've had it for a long time, but I treated myself to this and I love it. So it is a pen and ink blank art alternatives. That's what is imprinted on the back right there, and I'm sure I purchased it on Amazon. I'm just sure of it. So anyway, I'm going to let that stay in there because I don't think it will come to harm. I found a little envelope. I love these little characters. I've had it forever. I don't know. I don't remember the cards. I also ran across these. This little bag is not what they came in. There was some white lace trim ribbon in here, but these are like package tags that you can decorate if you wish. So these items will be stored in my piece of furniture that I've named Alice. She is styled as a secretary. She has a little pull-down top that you can write on and little cubbies to put papers and notebooks and whatnot in, and then little drawers. And believe it or not, there were so many patterns shoved into those little drawers. It's like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? So, okay, so there's that. I found a glue stick, so that will go into my hazel bag. I found a plastic bag. I found some, you know what these are if you have a dog. This came with my truck. I have a different truck now. I've never have opened this, and I think it was just a gift that came with the truck, and it's one of those hammers with a seatbelt cutter thing. So if you ever, find yourself in a situation where you have to get out and you can't open the window, you can't get out of your seatbelt, you're in water or whatever the situation may be, these are pretty handy. And I'm going to put it in the Tundra. So that is where that's going. Okay. Oh, I found this. I found a pair of reading glasses. I wonder if they're prescription. No, they're not prescription. Found my ancient old clip-on sunglasses. I don't know why. I found little charms from Target that I may incorporate. These are very old, like really, really old. And I may incorporate them into some sewing, like, a zipper pull or something. And I'll just leave them in there. Okay. This hair clip, I've always loved it. It is metal and it's very heavy. Okay, I found one of these. So of course I'm keeping that. They're not inexpensive. I found 2 face masks that I need to wash because I don't know. I know I made them, but I don't remember wearing or washing. They don't appear to be. This one has knots tied. Huh. Weird. Did I make this for somebody? I don't know. Very strange, but yes, they'll be washed. I did find some hand sanitizer. Unfortunately, I cannot stomach the way it smells. It's almost a whole bottle that's about this big. It's like this. And I'm going to hang on to it. I don't know where it came from. It's weird, I know. How do I not know where things come from in my house? I don't know how they got in this room, I think is what I'm actually saying. With that information, maybe that helps clarify things just a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to show you the cards I've painted, but I have to get this room, somewhat picked up. I don't want to get this is not a paintbrush I use for painting. This is a paintbrush I use for when it's time to dust the lint out of my sewing machines. This is one that I keep in my sewing drawer over here. I found some Jergens, perfect for hands. I think this might have also been in the Ram. Now I have a Toyota Tundra that I named Thundra. It sounds like a magical superhero. Thundra. I can even hear in my head the theme song, which I'm not going to hum. I know you appreciate that. Okay, so this lotion is lovely. My hands are so dry. When you handle paper, just by virtue of it being paper, it will pull the moisture out of your hands. When you handle fabric, it will pull the moisture right out of your hands. So teachers, people who sew, people who handle paper all the time, often say, why are my hands so dry? I live in a climate where it's humid all the time and yet my hands just are awful. Well, it's the outside things. It's the handling of the paper. Even if you wear gloves, because even sometimes gloves can pull the moisture from your hands. It's just a constant, circle where if you don't put lotion on because you don't want to get it on the thing that you're trying to touch, like the paper or the fabric, then your hands are going to just get like, I don't know, just almost like paper, just crinkly and, dry. I just have decided that I don't have a choice. The dryness is so pervasive and uncomfortable, and I have to wear lotion. So I try to keep it with me, which is why I think that was in the truck. Okay. I can't stand the way this product right here smells. I really just don't want to dump it out in the sink, and I don't want to keep it, so I'll have to think of something. The closet is looking so much better that I just feel good that work is getting done. So I'm not even gonna try to hide how awful it is still in this room, because it's absolutely just awful. So let me get you turned around. All right, I'm gonna do kind of a slow pan if I can. So this is the Joybird sofa that I have in here. And I mean, that's all just fabric, and my hat and some return address labels on top of the hat, and my DMC Stitchers color guide that I bought for my shop over 20 years ago. I opened it up and there's a little cross stitch pattern in there that was a freebie, apparently. There is the pearl cotton right there. There are some serger spools on top of that, and then that pink camo fabric was going to be this jacket right here. And what happened is I had the pattern pinned to the fabric, and then it was time to move, because that all happened so fast. It's not like I knew we were moving. It just happened fast. And so I just decided today I'm just going to unpin the pattern, use the fabric for something else, because I'm kind of not in the mood to make another jacket. Oh, speaking of jackets, that's my jacket, that burgundy right there. I still have to hem it, and once it's hemmed, it's done. There's an embroidery hoop as well right there. I have found numerous embroidery hoops in the process of cleaning up this hideous, horrible mess. That is the top of my garbage can, and it is sitting on top of some fabric I don't know what to do with, which is sitting on top of a box of more fabric that I don't know what to do with, and some plastic and otherwise used mailers that I won't throw away. And then there's this. This was jammed from top to bottom. I couldn't even get into any of that stuff. I still don't know what all of that is, but I have removed items and I've dealt with them up to this point. So, all right, and then I'm going to slide the doors over and show you the other side. And I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the side I started on, was this piece right here, and I'm pretty happy with how it is right now. On the very top shelf up top, I have sewing items that I don't really use very often. So that green box right there has just a multitude of scissors that I rarely use. And then in that clear plastic container right there is a microphone for this camera, this one right here, that I don't need because I have the Rodell microphone. And then the next shelf under that right there, gosh, that's so weird, that right there, those are all buttons, snaps, trim, just hardly ever used little things that are kind of self-contained. I have 3 of those pink containers right there that my hibiscus tea comes in, and those 3 are empty. So I can use them to store whatever I decide I want to put in there. The next shelf down right there with that little pink pillow, that is books and patterns, and my sewing notebook is right there on that top on the far right. The next cubby down under that is going to be little projects, either heirloom things that I've started, and that's what's in that plastic box right there, or maybe embroidery, just little things that I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. And it's right at my like chest high, kind of. Yeah, basically it's chest high. So I can kind of just reach in and get it without having to pull anything off of a shelf over my head or bend down low to pull it off of a shelf where I'm going to have to, you know, hurt my knees or my hips in the process. Oh, and this right here I purchased recently. It just arrived day before yesterday. It was Saturday. So this I am putting on that shelf. It's the applique pressing sheet and multi-purpose craft sheet. I haven't opened it yet because I just don't have time right now. But that was just laying flat on that shelf right there. Okay, and then moving down to the next level, and the next 3 levels really, those 2 boxes right there are patterns. They're just straight up patterns, except for the dressmaker's tracing paper, and I just stuck that in there this morning when I found it. It will be going into a completely different box when I get these all sorted and I know what box I can use for what items. But it's right in front so I can see it. I know where it is when it's time for me to get to it. There it is. Under that, oh, you can't see that. That box right there, I haven't gone through. It is just pieces of fabric. Mainly, it is bigger pieces of cabbage. It could be considered a scrap, rather large pieces, but they're kind of in the middle. Now the one next to it right there is all white projects. It's white fabric that I've had that I spent $32 a yard on. It is a white day gown that I started for babies that I haven't finished. It's just it's like white lace, white entredot, just everything that's in there is basically for heirloom and is white. Under that, on the bottom shelf, basically on the floor, there is a Reebok shoe box right there, and it's sitting on top of a Amazon Prime box. And I don't know if you can see it, but peeking up from behind that sewing machine is the crumb box. If you've watched my videos, you know that I save tiny pieces of fabric and then use them as stuffing. We recently did this project right here, and the mannequin piece, this little body right here, is stuffed with crumbs. That is all. And then out in the room I have this. This is the size of the container that I filled recently and removed all of the items down to the garage. My husband did, actually. And it's truly this type of item. A smocking plate, a little memories, duplicate stitch. So these were duplicate stitched pattern pieces, and then there's the Christmas tree, and I don't even know how many smocking plates. I had just thousands of them from my shop. They're all packed away again. In case you're wondering, today is Monday, November 16th of 2020. Yes, it is 2020. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's that. And then I have 3 bins. One is out here in the room, and the other 2 are in the closet. And I mean, they're just packed with fabric and lids to containers and embroidery hoops and yarn that I will never use. I don't know why in the world there's a crochet hook in there, but I will not be using this awful yarn. I might see if my youngest daughter wants it because she has taken up knitting. I don't know if you could even knit. It's that eyelash yarn. I'll see if she wants it. Oh, and then I also, with the applique pressing sheet, I received a package of Warm and Natural, which is kind of, where is it? Right there, right there. It's kind of peeking out. And then right beside it is a 4-pack of Heat and Bond fusible interfacing light. So I have that as well. I needed it for several projects moving forward. I found this in my stash of stuff, and that right there is me on Lemon Drop Kid. So Apple Tree Stables used to belong to us in Atlanta, and my sister is in the photo below me, but I don't know if she wants to be, you know, splashed across the internet, so I'm just going to leave her down there. But anyway, so I'm going to flip us back around the other way and show you the embroidery project and go get the red work because it is finished. And there may be someone who wants to see the completed project. So hold on just a moment, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here it is. It is finished, and the paint that's on here, it has dried, and I'm going to remove it. It's just one of those things that happens when you're painting. Oh, sorry about my arm there in the way. Okay, so I did the red work, my own designs, as if you've been watching you know. I put it on a red burgundy, actually burgundy ticking, and then with the stripes running, you know, the horizontal direction under them. And then on the back, I did the vertical lines running the opposite direction. So I don't think, you can't really see the quilted part on the back as well as you can on the front. I've got a broken thread right there that I noticed yesterday, and I swear I kept thinking I need to fix that, but I don't know, I like it. Kind of adds a little character to it. It's not that I don't want to fix it, it's just I was thinking how interesting. I did a square edge binding on here, and the square edge binding that I did is on the video that I did prior to this one. It's different than most in that rather than using a folded piece of fabric, like if this is your fabric, and say this is the strip that you're going to use. Most bindings are folded in half once they've been cut, measured and cut, and then they are stitched down on the front in the folded position, like so. This would be at least an inch outside of the edge of this, going this direction. And then they're stitched down using 1/4 of an inch, and then this is folded to the back, and you have a folded edge all ready to go as far as your stitching by hand. I chose to leave mine unfolded, so when I had it laying here, it was opened out after it had been applied to this side right here. It was opened all the way out, and then I folded it under and did my stitching on all of the 4 sides and the 4 corners, of course. and they are squared off like so across the front. So really you're only going to see this right here and then that stitching line right there. Let's see if I can get that to show. I've got a little piece of thread poking out right there. But I love the way that looks with this. And then, like I said, I have this sitting on the marble top of the top half of my kitchen queen or my kitchen hutch, whichever your preference is on that. Okay, and then this is my embroidery, which I haven't really had a chance to get to. I'm enjoying it immensely. I did get some new embroidery colors, embroidery floss colors, so I'm going to be using, I don't think I chose those. Yeah, I did. Okay, that's right. So the green and the red were different colors for the holly berries under here and the holly leaves, and I've since changed my mind. I don't even know if this will appear green. It almost looks black. I guess it does. It's a really deep green. This is a no name brand of floss that I found on the internet and I love it. It's really soft. It's probably not the best for cross stitch because it would, more than likely, it would get fuzzy due to how soft it is. It is completely different from DMC. But for this type of embroidery, it is perfect. So I'm almost thinking I'm going to take this Cerulean blue out. It's too bright. So I'm going to remove this right here. The only reason that I used it was because at the time it was the only blue I had. So I'm going to go in with a, I hope, a navy. So in this one it's $7.91 if you purchase this 150 pack off of Amazon, which I will try to remember to link below in the description box. And it actually kind of looks more in line with the picture. So, all right. So there is that. And then lastly, I've been painting Christmas cards, which is why I have not been really producing video, and it might be a day or two. I'm going to try to get this one uploaded so you can see what's going on. I'll be right back with the cards that I've painted, and I might paint one with you. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kind of on the fence about this one. I don't know how I feel about it. But we'll see. See what we think. I'll be right back. So here's the thing. I've always been really, really good about sending out Christmas cards. I grew up in a family where writing thank you letters, sending out Christmas cards, and staying in touch with your family through mail, writing letters, was not only, you know, something that we did. It was like we were required as little kids. We were required to do it. We had to write a lot, which I never found to be an issue. It was a fun thing for me. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I often found myself, even as a little kid, doodling things in the margins of my letters that I would send, which was completely okay. Nobody cared. You can join me if you wish. I'll tell you the supplies, and then if you're interested in going along with me on this one, you can grab your painting supplies or even your colored pencils. This works really well. Okay, I'm going to need a fan brush. This one is real, it's like boar hair. It's real stiff. Okay, so I'm going to go grab some water in a cup because I am using acrylic, and I shall be right back. Alrighty, I have returned. So the only brushes that I don't wet at the beginning is my fan brush. I don't even put it in the water. These I don't mind. They can kind of hang out in the water a little bit. So the main thing I have to decide is, do I want to do this on a plain background or do I want to do it on a painted background? And I kind of want to do it on a painted background. So that means I need more titanium white. This is the Liquitex Basics titanium white. I'm going to put it over here, even though I have some over here. I want it to stay white. Misty white, blue, gray color. So I'm going to use some blue right here and some gray over here next to the white. Okay, so I'm going to just put some water on it, just a little. I'm going to put a little bit of white on part of the brush. I'm going to pick up a little tiny bit of the blue on the corner, and next to that I'm going to grab some of the gray. So I have gray and blue and titanium white. I'm just going to color my piece of paper. And you'll see it's going to start to bow. And it will get a little difficult to hold this paper in place. So you might want to leave a spot where you're not painting. And you'll just either have to use that as your signature spot, or you'll have to go back with the colors that you want to use and paint it. But I have a place to put my finger right here. It's not painted. I won't get paint on my hand, and I won't leave a fingerprint, which I was doing earlier, and then I'd have to go back and repaint. That is just a... Okay. Now, the other thing that you can do when you're painting on paper, I've just got my, this back and forth with the paintbrush, but you can also, what is this? Oh yeah, I can use this. This is scratch paper. We'll use some gray and some white. You can also go circular, especially if the bristles on your paintbrush are long. Either a cloud or a big bushy tree. You could make this into a tree real easy. Just draw the trunk down below there, and then just random branches coming out. I've seen a lot of these types of paintings. Okay, so using the little corner that I haven't painted, I'm just going to kind of wave it back and forth. Now the other thing is, it might be tempting, to take the end of a paintbrush like this and push down to get it to lay flat, and that would work, but it will also leave little divots in the paper. So I'm just going to use this paper towel and just kind of hold it. And if you do this before it's completely dry, you'll get a lovely texture. So there's that right there. Okay, so I'm going to take this little round brush right here. Make sure there's no water coming out of the bezel, the metal part right here. If I don't like water coming out, I'll just sometimes do like that. Okay, and I'm going to create kind of a wood wreath. Oh, I meant to put some lamp black out, and I forgot. I'll have to get to that in a minute. So if you have lamp black, I'll be using that as well. Okay, so there's my paintbrush, and I'm not going to even try to be making a precise circle. It doesn't matter, because the vast majority of this is going to get covered up. You do want kind of an inky consistency with your paint. It's easy to achieve with acrylics. And you can use the tip of your paintbrush, or you can just lay it down flat to make a circle. And just remember, it's fine. So if your circle isn't perfect, it's fine. Do not despair. I will show you what I mean in a minute. Okay. All right. Now I need some lamp black, which is in here somewhere. Okay, and if you don't have lamp black, you can also use Mars black. They're both fine for this project. But if you have black and you have burnt umber, you can make Van Dyke brown, which is a wonderful color. Okay. All right, so we're just gonna take some of that beautiful dark brown. And the tip of this little round brush, this one is a #1 round by Princeton Art Princeton Art and Brush Company. You want kind of an inky consistency, and you're just gonna draw little squiggles like this. And don't have all of them going all the way around, so just start and then, you know, have the little wispies behind the main wreath that you drew in a circle. You can have some like this that looks like a stick, and then just keep finding spots. It's the smallest I have at the moment. Okay, I'm going to get just a little bit of water on it. I'm going to add some more of the black. And we're going to just make some little small, as small as you can possibly get, wisps. Okay. That's way too much water. Okay, so this needs to dry, and we can look at the background a little bit. Basically, this is where all of the paint will be basically applied. So it's likely going to start this right here, which is fine, because now I can take the paint that I still have with my big paintbrush that I was using. This is a number 15. Round. This is a round. Good Lord, Laurie. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the gray, and a lot of the white. Okay. And I'm going to finish off this corner down here. I'm just going to carefully put it on. Now, if you're painting on canvas, you're not going to have this issue. This is completely foreign to people who are using a canvas. But as you can see, you have, you know, this real hard demarcation where I'm painting. So that requires a great deal of blending until you're happy with it. Or conversely, you can just paint the whole entire piece of paper and go off and leave it and come back, and then you can paint because it will naturally flatten out. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of dimension in the middle. darks and lights will do that for you. Okay? Alright. So I'm not seeing any shine. You can kind of tip your paper like this. And if you don't see wet paint, well, it's time for this right here. So I'm going to take a dry, kind of medium fan brush. This one is a number 4 Crafter's Choice. It is the blue Crafter's Choice. The where is it? Here it is. This is Visuart, but I think I have a pink choice. No, this is Soft Grip Royal. Anyway, this one, like I said earlier, it's great for doing, like, if you want to splatter stuff. It's super strong and tough, but I don't like to use it for a wreath because it doesn't have any give and it doesn't work very well. But don't get it wet. Just use the paint. And I'm just going to tip it through both of these colors. So I have used sap green and hooker's green. And I'm going to start with my paintbrush at an angle to my wreath, like so. And I'm just going to go dab. I'm going to turn it, dab. I'm just going to keep turning and work my way around until I feel like I need some more paint. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the dark layer. So now I'm going to set this down. I'm not putting it in water. I'm going to get some more hooker's green. Oh, this is hooker's green. I believe hooker's green was developed by an artist, surprisingly and shockingly, named Hooker. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to use a different brush that I'm not using to paint. And I'm going to take it and put a little bit of white just right out of here. Just going to put this white. This is my blending white. This is my pure over here, not touched white. Okay, now I've got my fan brush. I'm going to pick up some of the hooker's green and some of the white right on top of it. And start over here this time. Same thing. Make sure that you're just getting it on the tip of the paintbrush. Okay, and if you feel like there's too much of a light, just hit the corner of that with some of the dark. Go right over the top of it with just the corner in the hooker's green. So now I have some that is just, you know, a little bit white right here, which I don't mind. Looks like it could either be snow or some white berries. But because I have that up there, I feel like I need to balance it down here with some white. So again, I'm just going to scoop up some white, put it over here. Okay, and just tap it on. Now if you want to use a lighter green, let's say that you've decided to make your wreath out of lemon coral cypress branches, which would be lovely because of that awesome citrusy smell. You would have more of a chartreuse color, and you can develop that quite easily by mixing. I always try it on a different piece of paper when I'm mixing like that. Okay. Alright, I love that. I like it. I think it looks really nice. So I'm going to take my little round brush and some crimson red. And you can use the back of your brush for the berries if you want to, or you don't have to do berries at all. I'll show you what that looks like. I'll just use this one. And I try to do 3, just kind of a cluster of 3. Okay. And remember, there are white berries this time of year. We have service berries that are white. We have blue from the, what the heck are they called? It'll come to me. Okay, so there's that. And if you wanted to, you could add a bow. Usually when I'm happy with the way my painting looks, I don't get too crazy with adding things. I might come in here and add a little bit of crimson, or yeah, like that scarlet red. It's a brighter color than crimson. So these colors will just pop on top of the green and the blue. Especially if you're doing little groups of 3. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so there we go. And then I don't personally ever sign anything until I'm happy with it. So if I sign it, that means I can't go back later and change anything. So if you see anything by me that hasn't been signed, that means I didn't finish it. And I'm putting 2020 this year. So, okay guys, well I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please consider it, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.